11 out of every 100 accidents is a hit and run, resulting in nearly 1,500 deaths each year, according to AAA Foundation for Safety. Welcome to our Philadelphia Accident and Injury Google Hangout. My name is Rene, and again, we're here with Rand Spear, Philadelphia's car accident lawyer. Today we're going to talk about hit and run car accidents. Hello, Rand. How are things going today?
Rene, things are going well up here in Philadelphia. We're getting ready for the Labor Day weekend. Today's Friday. It's a beautiful day. The weather's starting to cool down. It's in the low 70s. But there is a storm coming up the East Coast, so we're kind of concerned about what Saturday and Sunday are going to look like.
Well, we dodged a little bit of a bullet because I think the storm that crossed our path is going to be crossing your path, Hermine. So if it comes your way, you'll need to buckle down a little bit. She's drenching the coast right now.
So I've heard.
Rand, regarding hit-and-run car accidents, who is responsible for paying for damages for a victim of a hit-and-run accident, including loss of income, hospital bills, that type of stuff, personal injury protection? What do people need to be aware of?
Well, let me first give you a little information. 11 out of every 100 accidents is a hit and run. So they're fairly significant. Roughly 10% of accidents that happen on our highways, 10% are hit and run accidents. And unfortunately, they result in nearly 1,500 deaths each year. And that's according to the AAA Foundation for Safety. The question of who is responsible for paying the damages for a victim of a hit and run, there's many parties that can be responsible. Number one, oftentimes a passerby will be able to get the license tag of the person who's driving away or running away, and they come over to the scene and they give you that information. But many people, I will tell you, have their own insurance policies, and they have what's called uninsured motorist coverage. Now, uninsured motorist coverage is important to have, and it's relatively inexpensive. So if you don't have it on your policy, you definitely want to look for it because it's very inexpensive and it protects you for very little money. And essentially what that coverage does, it enables you to bring a claim directly against your insurance company as if they were the defendant's insurance company. But there are certain requirements that you need to be very careful about. For example, in Pennsylvania, you need a report contemporaneously with the happening of the accident. So at a minimum, you want to call the police. Make sure the police come, make sure they take down a complete report of exactly what happened, where it happened, how it happened, the other car hit and ran, give them a description of the driver of the other vehicle, a description of the type of vehicle, if you know what state the tag is from. You want to give them as much information as you can because the law requires that you do everything to the best of your ability to protect the information so that the insurance company doesn't think someone is just making up a bogus claim. So that's really very important. You also, if you're going to go to the hospital, have them come to the site of the accident and pick you up. A report, an emergency report, is very helpful. So those are the things you need. An emergency room record is very helpful. So as much information that you can gather so that later on you have proof, you have evidence that there was an accident, that you were involved in the accident, and that you sustained injuries is paramount in order to successfully proceed with an uninsured motorist claim. Now, the other thing I will tell you, for example, in Pennsylvania, again, and also in New Jersey, you have to, each case you look at the particulars of a case, but there's also what's called the assigned claims plan. And that's a fund that's set up that each insurance company contributes to. And it enables you to bring a claim against them if you don't own a motor vehicle, if the vehicle that strikes you hits and runs and you don't know who that vehicle is, and there's no other source of recovery. But generally, the policy limits for the assigned claims plan is $15,000, and that does include medical benefits of $5,000. So it's not a big recovery, but it was designed to help and assist injured victims who get hurt through no fault of their own and simply have nowhere to go for insurance coverage for either medical bills or pain and suffering.
Well, that sounds like a good fun for Pennsylvanians. Here in South Florida, uninsured motorist insurance is almost essential. A lot of people are running bare, so I think that's some good advice there for people who are considering maybe purchasing it. Ran, is it difficult to prove who's at fault in a hit and run if there are no witnesses?
Well, the client, the plaintiff who I represent in these cases, certainly what they say is evidence in a case, and their testimony goes to prove and establish how the accident happened and so forth. But in addition, I would take photographs of the scene. Is it at an intersection? What is the intersection controlled by? Where's the damage to your car? Is it a rear end collision? Is it a side collision? Are there pieces left on the side of the road? Are there skid marks on the roadway? In other words, gather as much information, take photographs as soon as you can, or ask someone with you, or even the police officer, to take photographs, to gather evidence so that you have a record. If you know of a witness, walk over to them, don't be shy, and ask them, did you see this accident? Would you be willing to give me your name and your phone number? So the more information you can gather, the easier it'll be to pursue a claim in a hit-and-run accident.
That's interesting. I know that in other types of litigation that time is of the essence. Are there statutes of limitations, and what are the victim's responsibilities in order to be compensated for loss in these kinds of incidents?
Well, I would certainly go to a lawyer and pursue the claim as soon as you're able to do that. The longer you delay and you wait, the more the insurance company is suspect that something's just not right. So I like to have these claims reported within 48 hours. The client calls me, they come in, or we go to them right away. We get all the information, and we put the insurance company on notice. We put the assigned claims on notice. We put everybody on notice so there's not a problem. Generally speaking, though, the statute of limitations to pursue a claim is 2 years in both Pennsylvania and New Jersey. So you want to, but you really don't want to wait. You really want to take immediate action and get started right away.
We've talked about uninsured motorist coverage. Is there another way to protect yourself and your family from loss in a hit-and-run accident?
Well, you know, you could also have health insurance if there's no other coverage for, through a vehicle to pay your medical bills. If you have health coverage, they usually will step in and be responsible and pay the bills, the hospital bills, the medical bills, and so forth. But the real key is, be careful, be astute, be alert for vehicles around you. Always try to avoid an accident, avoid the situation. But at the end of the day, I must tell you that I do have clients that come in and see me. They don't have uninsured motorist coverage, and for one reason or another, they're just not entitled to a fair recovery. And we find it to be very distressing, but unfortunately, there is a hole in the law, and occasionally someone falls into that hole and is not able to get fair compensation.
So in essence, they end up footing the bill in a lot of respects.
That's very true. They end up getting the bill. The bill comes to them. Their car is damaged. They have to. They don't have the ability to repair their car. They have to use their own money, and it's really just a horrific situation.
Well, like always, I'm always learning more about the law by participating with these hangouts. If you have a case in Pennsylvania or New Jersey related to a car accident or any other accident or injury, please call Rand Spear, the accident lawyer, at 888-373-4-LAW. That's the numeral 4 and the word law. Or you can visit the firm at www.randspear.com. Thanks again for sharing your experience and knowledge with us, Rand.
It's my pleasure, Rene. I wish everyone a safe and happy holiday weekend.
I want to thank everyone for participating today. I invite our audience to come back and hang out next time when we'll be discussing a new and important topic. That's all for now, and goodbye. But again, before we go, information contained in this video should not be construed as legal advice. Content is for information purposes only. Nothing contained herein shall constitute an attorney-client relationship.